Morning, everyone. Last week we made these jelly prints and I said we were going to make a book. This is my concertina book. This is what we're going to do and finish. So I'm going to show you how to make this book. I'm going to use this mask that I cut out. And the reason why this is significant is because I think that art heals. And this particular symbol is like a heart growing. So I needed this right now. I've had a stretch of illness. I had the flu. I actually found myself having anxiety, and that's a familiar thing from way back. And I use art to work through my feelings an awful lot. So making this book, I'm actually making a symbol that I relate to and leaving myself a place to write. I'm going to focus on the positive. I'm going to use this to write about all of my positive growth. I'll meet you at the table. Last week, you'll remember we made these jelly prints. Important thing for you to know is how to make this concertina book. This is a piece of 11 by 14 drawing paper, so it has some weight to it. Not quite as heavy as a cardstock or a Bristol paper, and it's not quite as thin as a sketching paper. The important part here is that you want to line these edges up so they're pretty even. And I have my bone folder in my hand. You want to start by getting the two corners down the bottom quite even if you can. And once you have these held down, you pretty much can just trust that this is going to work. I'll put the paper information below. We did the first fold. Then we're going to take this one and we're going to fold it in this way. I'm going to take my bone folder again. If you don't have a bone folder, you could use your handle to your scissors. It doesn't have to be a bone folder. And then, because I know I want this to be about 3 by 5, I'm going to fold it the short way into the corner. You don't want to go over the halfway mark, so you're going toward the center. Once you made your center mark, it's there. And then you're going to do the same with this side. I'm going to fold this toward the center. We're going to cut, not this last one, we're going to cut a line, a straight line, right along here. I like the torn edge quite often. You want to stop at this last section. You don't want to cut beyond this section right here. I'm going to do a light line so you can see it. And I'll erase it later. So you want to cut from this spot. So you're going to cut you're going to cut the straight line from here down 3 sections. 1, 2, 3. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put my ruler here, and I think I'm going to try ripping it. This could be risky, and you want to be careful when you get to the end of that section. So I just ripped it here. Now that's not going to bother me because I'm going to put stuff over top of it. A little glue on that and it will be fine. How you finish the book is you fold it in half. You're going to fold your sections. And this becomes your concertina book. Now you have all these pages. This in the middle, you can glue this on all sides and just glue it and leave it. Or you could use a little double-sided sticky tape. You could sew it and you could leave this like a pocket. So you could sew it down here and even down here, down this section, and leave this as a pocket. I'll decide what I'm going to do as I do it. But this is your book. The images that I made were this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm looking for 4. Definitely using this one, and I love this one. This one's so faint, but part of me really loves that. I like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, what I consider my tearing ruler, and I'm just going to tear the edges. Now this paper that I printed on, this is a Tomio River paper. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to set my ruler and rip. I have some Distress Oxide here, vintage photo. I am going to just ink up because I really just wanted to knock back this white a little bit. The oxides are not permanent, so you can put a little wet to them and they'll move. Here's the fun thing that I think happened here. I used a bunch of different papers. So old book, this is sheet music, this is a piece of dictionary, this was that Tomio River paper that I had, and this is a piece of deli paper. That's the look I wanted to go for. I like that it's all different. So I really only have 4 pages to use here. I have 5 here. I suppose one of them could make it to the cover. I just have to decide which one. Let's start gluing. Here's my book. Now, if I didn't say this already, because I'm not sure that I did, this idea, the concertina book, I've seen many places. So the idea of making a 1-page journal is what this is. You can find a lot of people that show you how to do it. But the idea of the book really came from Allie Manning. Her YouTube video is Vintage Page Designs. And I'll put the link where I saw it in the description for you. She took magazines and found simple images, cut them out, and did gel plating with them. And that's sort of where I got this idea from. But I just happened to make my own design. I did it on something, on some cardstock that I had laying around, and I cut it out with an X-Acto knife. I'm going to pick one for my front cover, and honestly I think it's going to be this one, and the rest of them are going to get glued into my book. This is just my glue, which is this is Perfect Paper glue, and I just put it in this little applicator bottle. I've seen people using these all over the internet, and I found this little bottle, and I've got to tell you, it's genius. It makes gluing so much easier. I'm not going to get too gluey here. You don't want to go too close to the edge because you don't want it to seep out, but you want it to stay down. So sometimes I do something like this. So that's how I'm going to do it. If any lifts up, these are great for being able to get underneath anything that lifts. I'm just going to open this up. I know that this is the page that I want to put this on. I'm expecting, since I did the vintage photo and it does move with wet things, that this may move. Now I am gonna eyeball this. I'm all right with that. And I'm just gonna push it down. Now this is a little off center, but my glue's already started to set up, so I'm not gonna move it. And I just don't worry about these things. I just can't. I think I'll let this dry, and here is the book. I'll put some weight on it once I know that these pages have dried a little bit. This is what your book is going to be like. I wanted to make this a pocket. We're going to glue down 2 sides, this side and this side. And I'm just going right close to the edge, but not up to the edge. This will help reinforce this little corner that I tore by accident, and I can see it seeping out down here, down the bottom. And I'm just going to take my rag, it's a little damp, and I'm going to rub it off. Now I'm pushing on this corner a little bit more so that the glue connects there, and this will remain open. I have a piece of, I guess you would call it chipboard, it's heavy cardboard. I measured the size of my journal because I'm going to glue this to the outside cover. Basically this piece I only had to do 2 lines. I'm going to try to do it this way because I'm going to have to make more than 1 pass. I took a pencil, a mechanical pencil that had no lead in it basically. I drew the line with that, and that's what made the dent. Okay, so it's probably not way straight, but I'm okay with this. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this side. I have a piece of jelly printed paper that I'm going to use to cover the chipboard, and I'm going to glue this on, and I'm going to use it the same for the back. You want to cut and leave probably 1/2 inch or so around it, and then you're basically going to bend the paper around it. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to cross cut these corners. I'm just gonna glue this. The book, we're gonna attach the paper right like this. I'm gonna finish the other one and I'll be right back. So I finished the back. I put a piece of ribbon underneath and I really saturated it with glue so that the ribbon would stick. So now I'm gonna go do the front. I'm gonna do the same thing here, and then I am going to glue this one onto the front here. But first, let's get this on here. How I did it before, a little of this. Put something heavy on it so it will dry. It's stuck together. And I'm gonna put some glue on this. And this will be my book. I like that contrasting color. I'm gonna let this dry. This is our book. Now I left these sides so I could write, journal on them. And this is my first book that I've ever made like this. So I'm kind of very happy with it. Very, very. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I hope that you'll subscribe and like the video. Thank you for being here though, and thank you for watching. Take care, everybody.